Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Azure Infrastructure Update. It's the 22nd of December, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all those that celebrate it. Really quick update this week. I have the chapters, so you can jump to any of the very few number of updates there are. New videos this week, so I dived into the Entra Internet Access. I mentioned it last week as it going into public preview. I said I'd create a video on it, so I dived into it. It's about an hour long, but I go into all of the capabilities, how it works. Then just a really quick video on, for Arc-enabled server operating systems, I can now use run command. It's the ability to execute commands on them via that Arc connected machine agent, which means I don't need the regular communications channels I might need for remote management. This is all via that connected machine agent, which just has that outbound 443. So I talk through that. New updates. So the crash consistent VM restore points has now gone GA. So remember, the point of the restore points is I have this idea of a restore point collection, which consists of restore points, which consist of disk restore points for each of the attached disks to that virtual machine. The crash consistent means it's not using an agent inside the guest to flush things out to disk and quiesce, pause any changes, but it is making sure they're all point in time right order, so they're all taken at exactly the same time for all of those attached disks. You're not going to get some weird discrepancy that one disk is a couple of seconds later than another disk when you come to use it. So this is a consistency mode parameter I'm going to set to say it's crash consistent when I go ahead and create that restore point. So it's just a really nice mechanism to now enable me to go and create that restore point without requiring an agent inside that virtual machine. Remember, if I have the agent and I use an agent base, then it would be application consistent. And then Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.9 is now supported on Azure VMs, so that's GA. And also Azure Red Hat OpenShift 4.13 is now GA in Azure. Remember, the Azure Red Hat OpenShift is all about that partnership between Red Hat and Azure to get a fully managed OpenShift cluster running really on demand that is jointly operated and maintained. On the database side, so free SQL managed instance is in preview. So it's for up to 12 months and it's 720 vCore hours each month, 64 gigabytes of storage, and it's a general purpose instance up to 100 databases. So you'll get this offer when you go to create a new SQL MI. It's one per sub. Hey, do you want to go and create that free instance? Again, it's up to 12 months. It gives you that opportunity to test and see how this is going to work out. My understanding is there is no option today to then upgrade it to a paid offering. But hey, you can go and play around for up to a year for free. And then SQL Migrate now has an as on-premises option in GA. So ordinarily, the way the migration appliance works is it will go and look at your SQL database and then observe it over a period of time to understand what is the real performance it's using, and then it can recommend some right sizing. Well, this is, I don't want to wait for that. I don't want to wait for it to observe and understand, well, what it could be. Just tell me what it would be as it is on premises without getting that additional performance profile data. Now I can wait, and then later on, I could then get that detailed performance profile and the recommendation. But this would just give me a size recommendation based on as it is on premises without any of that other knowledge. Miscellaneous. So Chaos Studio, remember Chaos Studio is all about chaos engineering, the ability to inject faults into my environment to simulate real world problems. Now it's actually introducing the problem. And so, for example, if I was to say, hey, pretend this AZ is down, it's going to stop everything that would be in that AZ. So it has real world implications when you use this. You need to make sure you're planning your experiments. But now it has service bus faults as well. So change queue states, change topic states, change subscription states to enable me to fully or partially disable entities within a targeted service bus namespace. So again, it's helping me test my messaging infrastructure for those failure scenarios so I can get greater confidence that what I've architected does meet my resiliency requirements. I'm not going to get some surprise if a real unplanned problem happens. Container Insights now has multi-line logging. Think about certain types of failure, maybe a stack trace. Well, that's multiple lines. And the way it would work today is every single line would be its own log in your log analytics workspace. So I may have one problem and it's 20 lines. Well, that's fairly hard to debug, having to go through lots and lots of log entries. So what the multi-line logging, exactly as it suggests, now that stack trace would just be one log entry. It's multi-lined, so it's going to be a lot easier to use. I do have to be running the container log v2 schema to get this, but once I go ahead and enable that, it will make it much easier for me to troubleshoot. And that was it. As always, I hope that was useful. Until next video, take care and have a great holidays.